That's going to be jarring. Woo. Hopefully my audio is coming in okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Brent, I'm running solo tonight. Pedro has D&D on Wednesdays. He's got an actual in-person D&D, so I wasn't gonna pull him away from that for me missing. Rolls, I appreciate it. Hey, what's going on, Tim? Man, Rolls, look at that. That's 18 months in a row. Jesus. I appreciate that so much, Rolls. It's gonna be kind of chill tonight. By myself. For anyone watching already, I mean, I'm gonna try to control this camera. This camera is it's a brand new webcam. It's AI controlled. That's what I guess what they call it. So right now it's not moving. If I do certain signals, I'm just gonna get it to do. There we go. So now it'll follow me around. It's doing it on its own. It's all software driven, or software driven on the camera. It's weird. So if I zoom in, it's weird. I'm getting used to the hand gestures. Weird. Yeah. It's more of a slow. So if I kind of move around, it's not too bad. If I back away, closer, I can zoom in. But if I move, it can go pretty far. It's kind of neat. Yeah, rolls, they're pretty neat. They're full on. I mean, it's sitting kind of high up and it just kind of tilts around. This one in particular doesn't have any software. You just plug it in and you read the manual and you remember the gestures, right? And it's got a few gestures on it, and it's like a stop, okay, and then an L. When you make the L, it zooms in. So I could do out, and then that'll bring it back into the middle, and then one more for closer. And if I want to take it back out again, just do it one more time. So that's the middle range right there, and then it's on follow. If I don't want it to follow anymore, I can hold my hand up, so now the red light's on it, and so now it won't follow me. So if I want it to follow again, okay. It's kind of neat. Really good optics from what I've been playing around with it. It needs a little bit of color adjustment. I haven't actually gone in there and played around with it much. I literally plugged it in after my trip. But yeah, let me let's kick these credits on, and we'll talk a little. We'll chat. Let's go here. Where are we at? I'm all rusty. Let's start this off. Hey everyone, welcome to the Mid-Geek Christ episode 180. I am riding solo tonight. Usually the show is on Tuesday nights. For the past a little under 2 weeks, I've been on vacation and away. I have worked while I was on vacation. That's the, I guess, advantage of working from home. I did travel back to go visit family But pretty much every day that I was away in Houston, I was still working. So it was nice to have the weekend and the 4th of July to spend with family, but it was, I'm glad to be home. It was 11 days away from my house, my own stuff. That's tough. Like, I mean, I'm sure anyone can, when you're away from home for that long, you're sleeping in someone else's bed, someone else's, you're kind of in someone else's house. It's home, right? Like hanging out with my in-laws and whatnot. It's great. I love them to death. Their family, hanging out with cousins and seeing my folks and my sister. But you're away from your own bed and your own comforts and your own, your own kitchen, your own, like you open up the fridge and you're expecting certain brands and certain things. Your own coffee, for example. Yeah, that was a tough one too. So I've been putting it down today for sure. Hopefully everyone had a good 4th of July. I know that this was kind of a tough 4th of July. A lot of weird news, a lot of horrible news coming out of Chicago. You had the 4th of July parade or whatever, and then you had the mass shooting, and then you've also had our fantastic court system. Removing some freedoms from from half of our population here in the U.S. So again, this is a kind of a tough one, but hopefully everyone spent some time with family, barbecued, drank some beer, drank a cold root beer, whatever your drug / drink / food of choice. Hopefully everyone partook and had a great Monday off. That said, the show was supposed to be on yesterday, but traveling, I worked till 5, and then I traveled from Houston to Dallas, which is a 5-hour trip, and there was no way I was going to make it by 8:30 to kind of do my show. So I spent time with myself in my bed. Yeah, that's good, man. Beer, barbecue, and cigar was good. Did a catch up. How did you like? So you did watch Maverick now at Rolls. How was that? I still haven't watched it. I will say this past weekend was pretty much 100% Stranger Things, Volume 2. And I got to say, that was I'm not going to talk spoilers tonight. There's some individuals that have even messaged me like, don't talk about it. I haven't finished watching it. And that was my drug of choice with Stranger Things. And I am very happy with that outcome for the second half of season 4, and very excited for what's to come on season 5. Best way to describe it is that it's not quite Godfather 2 versus Godfather 1 good, but for a sequel, it was incredibly good. Man, that's, even the fact that you use the word incredible or incredibly in any way is interesting. I didn't do anything either. Tim was pretty boring, uneventful 4th of July. I'm working on Stranger Things, though. Yeah, man, Brandon, enjoy it. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm sure it's been hard to not see some spoilers already. I know people have been posting memes and all sorts of stuff everywhere. So, just power through it if you don't want to. I mean, if you care about spoilers, power through it, because the internet is full of them right now. It was fantastic. I don't want to talk about it more than say that it was just as good as any of the other seasons, if not better than some of the other ones, depending on what you like. I equally like them all. I think they tell a great story. I think the narrative, I think all the characters. There are certain characters in this new season that I do not like. No spoilers here, but one of the ones that I really cannot stand is the jock. I can't even remember. It's Jason, I think is his name. He's the basketball captain or whatever. And boy, let me tell you, he's a character that I do not like. He was a plot line that I don't think the show needed. I understood where they were coming from with the whole the satanic scare of the Dungeons and Dragons, and the small town feel, and the rising up of the of the mob mentality of the you're corrupting our youth and you're opening up portals to hell and all that kind of stuff. And that happened. I mean, that's technically historic. They pulled that right out of the headlines from the 80s. But his character was just tough, especially as a geek, as someone that grew up playing those type of games, being a video game, being a board game player, seeing jocks like that bully people, kind of just made me very uncomfortable, especially when it almost became very lynch mobby in a sense, very uncomfortable, very Southern, for considering that it's in the Midwest for Hawkins. What is it, Indiana? Either way, yeah. Senate Pack of the 80s. Yep. It's based on the whole West Memphis 3 thing. That's right. Although the West Memphis 3 thing, from my understanding, is anywho, yes, you're absolutely right. I don't want to get into that, but yes. Yeah, Damon Eccles. That's exactly right. I read a whole article on that recently. It's good stuff. Good stuff. No, Chris, no, I 100% agree. That's what happened. And you were absolutely right. But it's tough. I mean, I wouldn't have minded if how do I put this? I wouldn't have minded that if that was like one of the only things that was going on this season, but there were so many strings and so many like anxiety driven moments in this season that was one more that I really didn't need. Like it felt a little over the top. Mainly because even the kids weren't even playing D&D. D&D wasn't like a thing. Like the kids love playing D&D in the show, and it seems like that's what happens not during the season, right? Like the beginning of the season, they show that they're part of a school club, the Hellfire Club, and they only play one game. And I get that the main character, Eddie, for example, is their DM, the head of the group. And so that's kind of the string that they pull. But outside of that, D&D really doesn't have much to do with the show anymore. And so it was kind of hard. You know what I mean? It's just there's so much going on with Hopper in Russia and with Elle in California or Nevada, and then the other group in California, and just there was just so much going on that was just one more like thing that I didn't need them being pressing on. That said, though, I'm not going to ruin it for anybody for the last 2 episodes. It turns out pretty amazing in the end. I can't wait. It's going to be 2 years probably. I think 2024 is when they said that we'll get Stranger Things season 5, and I cannot wait. I think I saw the last episode, the 2 hour and 40-minute one, twice already, and I want to sit down and watch it again now that I'm home in my own space. So go check it out. Let's start some news here real quick. Just kind of touch some headlines. A lot of stuff has happened in the past week or so that we haven't been here, and please feel free to Chance, rewatch the series. I'm gonna probably do that. I mean, we did that before the season, so almost at the beginning of every season that's come out, we've rewatched it. I've seen season 1 like 3 times or 4 times, season 2 3, season 3 2 times, and then so we'll probably watch 1 through 4 in a couple of years again. But yeah, so a lot of things happened. Please feel free to in chat remind me of things, stories, events, games that might have been released that I haven't talked about. It's hard when I don't have Pedro here to kind of remind me about stuff, but there's so much that has happened, and I want to touch on kind of, with the melancholiness of it all. I want to touch upon one individual. If you're, I know that the age group of our show is not really into Minecraft or whatever, but I do have kids in this show. I tend to talk a lot about my kids and whatnot, and one of them in particular is over the weekend or end of last week, a very, very popular YouTuber and kind of a very, 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 I'm going to keep saying very, very influential player for the Minecraft community and for kids in general, a very famous YouTuber called Technoblade. He had been fighting cancer young. I mean, he was a kid, 100% a kid. And he passed away. He defeated cancer and passed away. And man, I have seen a community like that lose someone is hard. I mean, I have no personal connection, but for example, on Technoblade's channel, his dad made a video, or actually he made a video with his son at the end. His son wrote the last little bit. It's really touching if you want to go check it out. His dad told him, hey, you probably want to say one last thing. And he pretty much told him, if whatever you want to say, you got to say it now, because you're not going to get any better. And he wrote a couple paragraphs, thanked his community, thanked everyone for buying merchandise and whatnot, and quote selling out because now his siblings get to go to college. And apparently he passed away 8 hours after writing that, and it's heart-wrenching. Technoblade, Microsoft and Mojang, makers of Minecraft, have already kind of memorialized him. They've already added him to the added his avatar to the loading screen. And if you check right here, this pig with the crown, that is Technoblade. That was his avatar. He was usually a pig and a king pig with a crown, that sort of thing. And that was his calling card per se. So he's already been memorialized. And they've even added, as of today, if you're familiar with Minecraft, every time it loads up at the top right, it always has kind of a funny quip, some sort of like, funny thing. And one of them has already been updated. It says Technoblade never dies. So that's kind of beautiful that just go look it up. It's real sad, but at the same time, it shows that it doesn't matter how old you are, you can be influential. This kid was out there playing a game, doing what he did, doing what he loved, and made good money, made money for his family, passed away, and left an amazing legacy. And he's now memorialized forever in this iconic game that I don't think will be going away anytime soon. So yeah, go check it out. Go read up on him. Yeah. Anywho, what else? I'm gonna kind of fire through this. As of today, we got the Clerks 3 trailer drop, and we had last week we had gotten Kevin Smith had put out what day it was gonna come out. I'm gonna go ahead and I want to watch this on here. Let's real quick pull it up. Where'd it go here? Boom. Big fan.
That's how we did it in the 90s, son.
Can't catch my breath, man.
Really? Should I try mouth stuff?
What is this, a Tinder date? Get off of me. Oh, shit.
Mr. Dante! I need an ambulance at the quick stop.
You saved my life, man. Wish I had a life worth saving.
What are you talking about?
Sit around and watch the same movies over and over.
I always thought you could have made a cool movie.
You're right. I'm living on borrowed time. No more watching movies.
I'm gonna make a movie.
What's the movie going to be about?
It's about him working here.
Meta.
Everything in the script is something either me or someone I know said.
I'm not even supposed to be here today. Maybe Jay and Silent Bob could be characters.
Jay and Silent Bob are like C-3PO and R2-D2. They've been here since the first movie, which was the last time they were cool. But they've been with the franchise so long, they still give them cameos and put them on the lunchboxes.
Snoochie Booches.
This movie's gonna be so meta. It's just ridiculous. I'm gonna enjoy the crap out
Put
of
in
it.
that stuff you used to say about the Death Star contractors.
Get sued by Disney. Oh, what?
Now that's what I call acting!
Take off your pants.
What the hell is this?
I added a scene where you get shot.
I'm not letting you kill me off in the third act. What if there's a sequel?
A sequel? What am I, a hack?
Oh man, I can't wait.
I think it needs more weed.
Looks great. Out this fall. Big fan of Kevin Smith. Yeah, I know you're right, Chad. So that's if you're familiar with all the lore and the View Askew universe and all of the wonderful DVD extras and whatnot. The original ending to Clerks was that Dante does get shot. So I think that's hilarious that he has an homage there to it. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I've met Kevin. I've met Jay a few times. Great guy. I've played some video games with him. It's been awesome. It's been awesome doing kind of a little bit of this, but at the same time, pushing to kind of meet some of my, people that I idolize. And I've been to Red Bank, New Jersey, and I've stood and I've got a couple pictures of me standing outside of the original, the Quick Stop. just fun, you know. So I'm a fanboy, right? And so like when it comes right down to it, I think that they did a great job. And I know that Kevin Smith has got kind of like a weird relationship now. Fans think that he's sold out and whatever else, and case may be. But I think my favorite part about Kevin is that he has fun with what he's doing. He doesn't give a crap what people think, honestly. He's going to do what he wants to do. He's going to put his friends in movies and make the movie that he wants to make unconditionally. And that, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that I think we should all aspire to do that, right? We should all just kind of do what we want to do and have fun doing it. So, yeah, right. Chance, he makes movies for himself. That's exactly right. I mean, he makes the movie he wants to sit down and watch later on, and that's cool. Like, I know a lot of directors and actors and writers sometimes don't watch their work or whatever the case may be, but Kevin seems to be one of those guys that he just likes to make movies with friends, and he likes to, you know, poop and fart jokes and all sorts of stuff, and that's what he likes to do. It's funny, and he even says he self-deprecates all the time, and he enjoys it. So more power to him. More of the View Askew universe. We finally get the final. I've been waiting kind of for this. I think Randall, in the long run, hasn't had kind of a run in a movie. Clerks 2 was definitely a Dante movie. Clerks 1 was the introduction. We've had Jane Silent Bob and all of the, you know, we have Mallrats and more of the View Askew universe and all that. But I think getting a Randall movie is definitely something that I'm really interested in. So I'm happy for that. He's been hit or miss me. Clerks was a no. Really, Dogma, Red State were a yes. So that's interesting roles. That's totally cool because Clerks is almost universally a yes for most people. Dogma is a very much a yes for many. Red State is hit or miss, right? That was kind of an interesting movie. I really like Red State. It's a very hard movie to watch. It was a very kind of a powerful movie for him. I've seen pretty much everything he's done, from little skits to, you know, episodes of The Flash, and I think he has a lot of fun. He's got a lot more range than people give him credit for. Yeah, Clerks was a no. Yeah, I know that's an interesting one, but I get it. If I want to, my top three, I'm gonna say, and these are no real controversy or hot take here. My top three is I love Mallrats, Dogma, Clerks 2, and then everything else in whatever order you want to put them in. Jane Silent Bob Strike Back are pretty high up there, but those three, if I want to pick three that I could watch over and over again, those three. Mallrats in particular is one of my favorites, just because it's a weird movie for him, right? It was done by, you know, Universal kind of put it out for him, and he was given a lot more money, and it was right after Clerks, so he had that Clerks mentality, that Clerks funny mentality with big budget, and it bombed for him, right? But it's lived on in cult classics. Clerks 2 was amazing. Yeah, Clerks just wasn't my cup of tea. Too slow, kind of like Seinfeld. It was a movie about nothing. Rolls, you're right. And again, that's because it was his first, right? He just wanted to make a movie about his friends and working in a convenience shop, you know. And so, what's going on, Dan? What's going on? Oh, man. So those are your top three. Mallrats, Clerks. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy putting Jersey Girl in there. Yes, Jersey Girl is also a very good movie. It's not liked by many, but I enjoy it as well. It's not in my top three, but I do enjoy it. Oh, Brandon, that's you. Some people would say that's a hot take. I loved it. I saw it multiple times. I saw it in the room with Kevin at the tour. The reboot is pretty fun. They call it a reboot. It's a sequel to Strike Back, which I love. But yeah. Hey, Dan, look at that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, sir. I can relate to some parts, but the parts. Okay, yeah, here we go. Yeah. So that part plays. Yep. Yeah, Jersey Girl is probably one of those that didn't like. Yeah. Yes. I mean, he's got a bunch of movies that he did after, you know, when he was going through kind of almost like a midlife crisis, when he made Zack and Miri, and then he made Cop Out. Those two, they're interesting movies for him. I like Zack and Miri a lot, and that's him doing the Judd Apatow kind of thing. When, you know, Chasing Amy is great. It doesn't age as well anymore. But it's still a great movie, and there's a lot to say in that movie. I just think even Kevin says it himself. He says that he's grown from that mentality and a lot of that So that is a very different movie. I mean, there was a movie him putting his own girlfriend in it, right? So, but Chasing Amy is a fantastic movie. Yeah, I can, Tim, I can back you on that one too. Mallrats is my number one. Yes, you're absolutely right. Cop Out kind of sucked because that was more Bruce Willis' fault. And Bruce Willis is a tough guy to work with. You know, he was so. If you've ever listened to any of his podcasts and his stand-up and all that, he talks a little behind the scenes about, you know, him having the honeymoon period with Bruce. You know, oh my God, he gets to make a movie with Bruce. Oh my God, I get to do this, I get to do that. And he had some great moments filming it, but at the same, you know, when it pushed come to shove at the end of it all, he hated working with Bruce, right? He loved moments of it, but he was just such a hard actor. And of course, he says it's his fault because he brought in Hollywood, right? Like this is Bruce Willis, big man Bruce, and you know, old Hollywood mentality of catering to him and only him, and he's the star and this and that, and he just expected everything to fall in line. And Kevin was not used to that kind of prima donna-esque mentality of an actor. Once Upon a Time, I watched the series Reaper. It was pretty funny. Yeah. No, again, that movie's one of those movies that's got tons of little scenes that are fantastic. Again, I'm excited for this. Clerks 3 is coming out. I'm so excited that this finally lifted off. It had been years and years and years in like post-production, pre-production, rewrites. Before the whole Weinstein thing, he couldn't even use the name Clerks because it was owned by them. And there was all sorts of litigation with that, and him trying to he couldn't make a new Clerks without their clearance. I mean, it's just a mess. I'm glad that all that got cleared up and he's getting to make it. Interesting because he really doesn't work with stars. I mean, Bruce Willis and John Goodman are only two I can think of. You know, he had Johnny Depp in Tusk, you know, and if you've seen why he did that is his daughter's best friend is Johnny Depp's daughter. They went to school together, and they talked one day, and he asked him if he wanted to do a movie, and Johnny Depp was like, yeah, sure. Just call me. Here's my cell phone number. And that kind of blew him away. And sure enough, Johnny Depp, he called him and he's like, yeah, so we're ready to do this movie. And so he's like, okay. And he flew out and he filmed them, and lovely person to work with, he said. So it's interesting that we go back and forth on the, that was a little bit as well. I thought that wasn't only the main reason. That was a big reason. He didn't want to do it without Jeff. Jeff didn't want to do it unless the script was good enough. He convinced him, I think, with this script. There's a couple of other stories as well. Yeah, that's right. It was Johnny's idea to put that on his face for sure. The dick nose on his face, and he told him, he was like, "Can I wear the nose?" And he's like, "Yes!" So great. So it's funny, so fun to listen to. If you ever get a chance, sit down and listen to his podcast. He likes to just ramble. He's a rambler. I'm a rambler, and so he's long-winded in his stories, and I really enjoy it. So, no, Dan, master storyteller for sure. I love the detail. I could sit down and just tell me more about the production of Superman. Tell me more. Oh man, I always forget about Yoga Hosers. It's one of those movies that's just I forget he made. All right. So speaking of Stranger Things and a little bit of all that craziness of this weekend, they announced today that Stranger Things creators are making a live-action Death Note series. So they're starting a whole new company called Upside Down Pictures, and they're doing a live-action. If anyone could pull this off, I think the Duffer Brothers could pull it off. So if you're not familiar with what Death Note is, it's a manga and anime. Best way to just write, the synopsis to this would be character finds a notebook. The notebook is pretty much given to him by a demon. If any write a name in that notebook, the person whose name is in that notebook dies. And so this character pretty much goes through a whole kind of God complex and kind of goes crazy, starts writing people's names down, killing off people, and he's just it's a great show, etc. So so I said that too. Isn't there already live? There is, but now they're doing something else. So they're doing a series as opposed to just movies. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Chris, you're right. It's already been done, but it's apparently being done again. They're pulling from it. And they're going to make it. They do it all over again. This time with the Duffer Brothers. I don't know why, but yeah. I don't know about Strangers. They've got the budget now, man. Like it's all they've ever had to focus on is doing their own stuff. So now they're going to do a production company. So they won't. They'll have the money to kind of do it all. So I don't know if maybe stretching themselves thin is the way to say it. More so that as long as the quality doesn't drop, right? We haven't seen anything else they've done yet. So I won't judge them until we get to see their next thing that isn't Stranger Things. Because sometimes that one project, that one passion project is what you got. And then you try to do something else and it doesn't turn out very well. There's a couple of directors that did, I mean, M. Night Shyamalan, right? He was one of those that had a couple of bangers. And then after that, everything he touched, everyone hated. There was previously a live action, but yeah, no, and I get it. I mean, it feels like it wasn't that long ago. It's kind of, yeah, literally they made it live action. Yeah, correct. And they're also doing a Stranger Things spinoff. Thanks for that. I forgot about that. So let's see. All sorts of stuff happened while we were gone. We had a mini direct. Nintendo had a mini direct. It was mostly indie games and third party and all of that, but some good stuff today. We got an announcement for this. We got a special edition OLED for Splatoon 3. I'm excited. I don't want to buy this one. I'm waiting for whatever the next rumor is. But Splatoon 2 is a fantastic game. I love it. Splatoon 1 I love. And this is one of the, like, I'm going to pause that real quick here. So real quick, this has got to be one of the best looking special editions Nintendo has done in a long time. I feel like Nintendo's been really lazy. They usually just put like with Monster Hunter and the other ones, they just kind of add a couple logos or make like a blue or a red Joy-Con. These Joy-Cons are really custom. Like if you see here, they've got like the ink spots and whatever else. Everything about the back. This is, by the way, this is the first special edition of the OLED model. So that's kind of cool. So if you look here on the front first, they got a custom dock, full print on the dock. I mean, they did and they didn't. Like the I've been looking up online, and some of them were just like basic colors, no color fade like this. Even like one of the more rare ones were the Disney ones. There's like a Disney, like a Magic Kingdom edition one that's got kind of like a purplish pink color, and that has a pretty intricate design on the Joy-Cons. But outside of that, the Monster Hunter one just seemed a little bland. It was like gray Joy-Cons. Even the Smash Brothers one was one of their biggest properties were gray. They were just the gray Joy-Cons, the ones, the basic Joy-Cons with the Smash Brothers cross across it. And that was it. When that could have been such an amazing piece of hardware, special edition, etc. This is, like I said, this one has got a dock. The Joy-Cons are faded color, multi-dual tone colors, from a dark purple to a light purple, from a yellow to a green, and then both printing on both sides. Just really cool. Again, yeah, I agree. The Pro Controller was okay. The Splatoon controller was still better, though, because you had different colors, a colorway that wasn't used in anything else. So that's all I'm getting at is that I feel like Splatoon so far has had the best, in my opinion. I have the Splatoon Pro one, and I love it. The pink and green. But then again, I like colors. So, but yeah, that'll be launching this fall. Looks pretty neat. I enjoy it. I love the printing on it all the way around. Like, available 8/26, so that'll be tough to get probably. Just like everything Nintendo, it'll probably sell out immediately. If you want it, go, hop on it. I'm pretty sure pre-orders are probably starting soon, so go check it out, etc. See what else here. I got into a little conversation actually with Chance earlier today on this one. So looks like we are getting a Lollipop Chainsaw remake. I haven't even read most of the story outside of just a couple of tweets here. So it looks like we're getting Suda51's Grindhouse game will return in 2023. this is interesting because from my understanding is it's without Suda, right? So it's without Suda and without Gunn. So no James, which was written, Lollipop Chainsaw was co-written by James Gunn, and and Suda 51. So I don't know. Apparently, yeah. So they clarified. Suda and Gunn have both clarified they are not working on the remake of Lollipop. This is a tough one. I don't know how I feel about this. It's already a pretty good game. Yes, a remake would be pretty good to do. Better frame rate. Up the graphics. I would prefer a remaster. I don't know if remake is the way to go with this one. I don't know. If you don't have the stylization and the director that is Suda 51 behind it, then you lose kind of the magic of it. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I'll reserve judgment for sure, but I prefer a remaster. Give us an edition that plays backwards compatible or higher. Give us 4K, 60, all that sort of stuff. All right, Brendan, go check it out. Go watch the rest of Stranger Things. So yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know where I land on that one. What else? Man, a lot of Stranger Things stories. It's hard to kind of avoid those. We're going to probably talk about those next week, or I'll have a little bit of maybe a special edition sort of that. Last week, of course, we had the launch of Cuphead, the DLC. Finally, this was announced in 2017. 2017. Oh, I won't forget the Intellivision. It's coming. But no, this DLC, the last course, was announced at the end of 2017, early 2018, and it was planned for a 2019 release, delayed, and COVID, and all the wonderfulness and the hardships of working from home. And since this is a hand-drawn game, it is now 2022, and it's out, and it's fantastic. I bought it the moment it dropped. I'm loving playing as Chalice. You get to play as a whole new character. Here she is down here. She has some abilities that the brothers don't. She's got a double jump and her dash automatically kind of. It's got some advantages. It's not easy mode. She does have extra life, but it's not easy mode. I guess the best way to put it is she just plays different. She has different power-ups and different things. So go check it out. It's $7.99 if you already own the digital game. The nice part about this is now that the game is out, or I'm sorry, the DLC is out. That means the entire game is out, which means that we'll finally be getting physical. So Dan, yeah, there you go. I'm still waiting for the physical, and this is the reason why. So now that we've got the DLC announced and out and playable, they'll get all the bugs out, make sure they patch it as best as they can, and then we'll get a physical copy out on Switch and other consoles. So I'm excited for that for sure. That's definitely a game that I want everyone to buy. Here's real quick. I wanted to another game that I really love, and just got a physical release announcement. Let me pull that up real quick before I forget. So Special Reserve Games is doing a Switch release of Gato Roboto, and if you're not familiar with that, it was a Devolver and Danksoft game. Really fantastic game. I guess the best way to put it, it's black and white. It's got a fun black and white art style, pixel art style. It is the equivalent of Master Blaster, Metroid, and Mega Man, all in one game kind of thing. You're a cat inside of a robotic mech suit, and there are occasionally parts in the level where you hop out of your suit because you can't get through it with the suit. So you're running around as a little cat and doing things. You're picking up power-ups and doing all sorts of stuff. And there you go. It was a free game. It was digital all over the place. So if you've got it, go play it. But we're getting a physical release soon, so go check it out. It's only $29.99. It's available. Buy it now for pre-order. Estimated ship time October from Special Reserve Games. Don't say that you can't get it. It's an open pre-order. So jump on it, get it if you want it. See what else here. Over the weekend as well, this past week, I picked up my copy of I picked up a $39 game, which I was excited for, which was Stray is not out yet. Speaking of cats, good call out there. We did get a news trailer back with a couple weeks back with the PlayStation event, the State of Play. You know what? I should play that. Let me play that trailer because that's a game that everyone should have on their radar. I'm excited for it. I've been excited for it for a while. Yeah, 1 month ago, we got this trailer, but we didn't get to watch it here on the stream. Love these type of games. Love these type of games. Just great new concepts. Yeah, July 19th. So we get that in a little over a month from now. I'm excited for it. Is it yeah, aesthetically it looks great. It's an indie game done by Annapurna. And I think like what is it? Blue Cap Studios or Blue something Studios. Can't remember them. They're a small studio, but they've been working on that for a while. Sony really threw the money hat at them to drop it on there. Chance, is that true? Is it on PS Premium day one? Is that actually the first and only game I think I've heard that they're doing day one? So yeah. You know they're gonna do that, right? Like you're gonna be able to just do the knock stuff off the table, that sort of thing, for sure. It'll be premium and extra day one. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, fantastic for the premium Sony guys, the guys that jumped on their new plan. I haven't done it yet. I haven't seen a reason for it yet. When I see a game or maybe some backwards compatibility or some sort of like awesomeness, I'll jump on it. But for now, I'm happy with the plus and getting the extra games. So we'll see what happens there. Let's take a look here. Yeah, no, you're right. What else? As I was saying before, I picked up my copy of the Capcom Fighting Collection, which dropped last week, and it's a pretty good game to have on my Switch. It's got, I think, 10 games, if I'm not mistaken. It's good list of games. Features Vampire Savior, Darkstalker, Cyberbots, Red Earth. Red Earth is a big one because there has never been a release of that. CPS3 game. I think Cyberbots. I don't remember if Cyberbots. It might have already gotten. Super Puzzle Fighter. We've got a few of those. Gem Fighters, Hyper Mini Mix. Bunch of games. All the arcade versions. You can even choose to play the Japanese versions, which have some regional differences. So it'll actually tell you the ROM that it's loading. Because it's running out of an emulator, of course. It's got a couple of CRT effects. It's got some good borders. Plays great. I think I put an hour and a half, 2 hours into Puzzle Fighter 2 on my Switch and loved it. And some of these games, if you've got an OLED Switch, it is fun to have some of these games on that screen. That handheld OLED screen is so beautiful. So excited to have that. It's $39, and I'm sure it'll drop to like 20 or 29 or whatever in the next couple weeks, months, etc. if you want to wait for Black Friday or whatever. But it's a good collection to have. I'm really enjoying Capcom putting out these really nice curated collections. They've got their arcade classics 1 and 2, that sort of thing. But see, if you're not familiar with what Red Earth is kind of like an RPG-esque fighting game. Really cool. It was part of the CPS3 hardware. The CPS3 hardware only had 5 games, I think. It was and what I mean by CPS3, if you're not familiar with arcade hardware, so Capcom had kind of like a best way to put it would be like their own console, right? Like their CPS1 was one console, CPS2 is another console. It's a set of hardware, chips, graphics, and memory, and all of that. And then they'd write games for that, and that way they could have universal hardware. So like Street Fighter 2 and X-Men versus Street Fighter and all that, those were CPS2 games. CPS3 had more memory, could do some, it could do scaling, it could do sprite scaling, and a couple of other things. Had better sound. It used CDs for sound, and it just had really cool graphics and really cool sound and artwork and all of that. And so it was Red Earth, JoJo's Adventure game, JoJo fighting game, and then it had all 3 versions of Street Fighter 3. So Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 3 Double Impact, and then Third Strike. I think that was it. I think there was one more, like a puzzle game or something, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm going blank, but that's it. So that bit of hardware is expensive. If you wanted to buy your own arcade board for Street Fighter 3 or have a CPS3 board, they go for about $800 now, and each game goes for almost as much. You know, if you want the cartridge, the security cartridge and all that to run it, there are ways to get multi-ROMs on those things. It's a pain in the butt. It's nice to have a good collection, especially one with Red Earth, because that is a game that we have not gotten ported to, I don't think, anything else. So exciting for that to be on a home console. What else here? Another big collection that was announced by Capcom. This was at the Nintendo Direct, the little mini. This is cool to have and get announced because all 10 Mega Man Battle Network games. And you might be too old for this. Like the 90s and onward, on the Game Boy Advance and whatnot, there were multiple. It was kind of like Pokemon and Mega Man all at once. There was an RPG battle system, and it was fun. You could do link ups and fight against each other. You could pick up chips, and that's how you did upgrades, and just a really fun take on Mega Man. It's just a real bag. Some new features, definitely. I'm digging it. Some good unreleased artwork. That filters. No, that should not be on any game ever. But whatever.
Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection.
I think this is the last of the Mega Man games that have gotten released for Switch and Xbox and PS4. So, that said, coming 2023, you can officially now own all of the Mega Man games. I think all of them are now part of the collection. You can get the Mega Man Collection, Legacy Collection 1, Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, Mega Man X Collection, and then these, the EX collections. So that's exciting. Very cool that you can have all of them now, all on one console. So the Switch is turning out to be kind of this, and I say the Switch is coming out for PS4 and all the other ones, but as a handheld system, it's nice that you can have all of this, the entire library of all of the Mega Man games now, if you're a Mega Man fan. Let's see what else is new here. We did get an announcement. We talked a little bit about it on right after the last show we had, which had the Xbox. We talked a little bit about the Xbox announcements, but one of the big ones was we are getting the Persona series coming to the Switch, starting with Persona 5 Royal in October. Persona 3 Portable, 4 Golden, and 5 Royal are on their way to the Switch. This is exciting. Again, this used to be only on, I think, Persona 4 was only on PSP for the longest time, or PSP, Vita for the longest time. Then it got ported over to PC and PS4, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But yeah, yes, and you're absolutely right, Chancey. Before I forget, Wily Wars. So the Sega Genesis version of Mega Man 1, 2, and 3, the Wily Wars collection, is now on the Sega Genesis Classic Collection. So if you are a subscriber to the online, the expansion pack with the online service for Nintendo, you will get that. Yeah, Dan, this is I mean, it's an acquired taste. It's a newer style anime, but they're actually really good. A lot of characters, a lot of character development in the games. They're pretty fun to play. I powered through 4 Golden on my Vita many years ago, and I say power through like it was a hard struggle. I think I got sucked in like 3 hours, like about 2 hours in. I was like, "Yeah, this is good. I'm going to finish this," and I dumped some time into it. I want to play it again. I'm excited for it. So yeah, having all these. I don't think I've ever played any of the other ones. I know a lot of other people have. Persona 3 and Persona 2 and 1 are interesting that we haven't gotten any releases for those. So it'll be exciting if we ever get those ported. That'd be great to see those ported over to the Switch, and you can have the Switch have Persona 1 through 5 all on one console. Let's see what else. And again, if you're not familiar, Atlas Games in general, buying physical games from Atlas as a publisher, they tend to not pump out multiple copies. They don't leave them on the shelves. They do very small runs. They sit on shelves. If you don't buy them when they first release, maybe within a year or two, they dry up and their value goes up. And by value, I mean they're just expensive to buy physical copies of. We live in an age where digital games can be purchased for sure. But yeah. Yeah, correct. They're a spinoff. Let's see what else here. Not much left. Here we go. We are getting a new game from the developers of Sayonara Wild Hearts. If you're a fan of the show, I ranted and raved about this game so much when it came out, and it was my game of the year that it came out. And we get a new game from the developers. It's called Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is what it's called. And if you're familiar with Sayonara Wild Hearts, it was kind of like a music video-esque game. Very cool. So I'm excited to see this art style. Interesting. It looks to be like I don't know what vibes I got off that. This looks so different. Yeah, it totally does. But yeah, different developers, different writers, etc., that sort of thing. I'm excited. I mean, if you're a developer and you make a good game that I like, I'm going to try to play your sequel or your next game. That's what I do. So yeah, it's got a little bit of oh man, what was that vibe? Very Resident Evil, Silent Hill-esque, but at the same time, a little Fatal Frame, a little looks to be kind of a mystery game, clues, that sort of thing. I don't know if it's horror. I don't know if it's a mystery. I don't know anything. That didn't really tell me much, but whatever. I'll play it when it comes out. Oh man, I think I hit my mark here. That was pretty much it. What else? Anyone else playing anything? What are y'all doing? Did I miss anything story-wise? Oh, I'm not gonna forget. In television, let's touch on this. Let me pull up that link. Oh man, let's see if I can find the story here, because this is a great story. So the Amico, the console we all love to hate. Oh man, where is that story? It expired, right? Their trademark expired. Where is it? No, I didn't forget. Just wanted to. Where is that story? Oh, that's right. There we go. Found it. Abandoned. That's why I couldn't find it. So earlier, yesterday, 2 days ago, I think what it was, we got the story that said that Intellivision, the trademark for Intellivision Amico is now labeled as abandoned. So this is an interesting story because according to the United States Patent Office, they renewed it once before. They went through the process of renewing it, and then the trademark was updated on June 20th, 2022, and has been labeled as abandoned as of recent. Which is, yeah, I think they have a certain amount of. They have 2 months or whatever. Intelligence has 2 months to file a petition to revive. and state the failure to extent was unintentional. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I mean, if anything tells you this is a dead product, this is it. Like, I don't know about you, but if I was a company and I was going to release a console or anything with a name, I would have people watching this kind of stuff, keeping the hype going, keeping it whatever. And it's just abandoned. It's dead. This thing is dead. It's beyond dead. I don't think there's a single person out there that probably is still rooting for them at this point. And I don't want to hate. I mean, if this thing ever did come out, I'd be like, well, let's see how it is. But that just doesn't look like something that is going to come out anytime soon anymore. I don't know. Very sad. I don't even know. Like, I feel bad kicking it when it's down, and this is kind of what this is, right? Like, it's already, like, it hasn't had good news. It's out of money. There's been firings. Tommy Tallarico stepped down as CEO. They brought in the other guy, the guy that was in charge of the Phantom, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man, just go pick up a Android tablet from 5 years ago with a random old Qualcomm chip in it, and that's a prototype right there. Because I mean, I just can't even. It's Linksys router with 2 weird old cell phones attached to it. It's just a nightmare. I can't even believe it. I just want to real quick. This is the 2021 E3 presentation a year ago.
And what an honor it is to television to be a part of this year's E3. I want to personally thank the ESA for having us be involved.
Yeah. Let's look at these games here. Look at this console.
That multiplayer, that couch co-op experience. See, when I was growing up, we didn't have the internet to play video games. So if you wanted to play with somebody else, you went over their house or they came over to your house.
You can't do that nowadays. None of our consoles have co-op on the couch. None of them can play more than one player at home.
Fondest memories of playing games or when you were playing with other people in the same room together. That's what we're all about. Now, look, I'm going to be honest. For a lot of you out there watching this, I'm not going to impress you with our teraflops and gigawatts and streaming processor.
Ooh, he's using jargon in this.
Lifelike graphics.
Oh, God.
That's not what
this is
we're
2020,
about.
a year ago. How the mighty have fallen, right?
Handy when you're playing others that might not be as good as you in gaming. So
these games just flash.
We also have RFID built throughout the entire console, which means you can get a gift card, for example, tap it on the system, and it shows up immediately. What's really cool about having the focus be people playing together?
Again,
I'll give you an example. Astro Smash is a 4-player game. At any point during the game, somebody can pick up a controller and just hit the ship they want and go right into the game.
This has never been done before.
Now, for all you collectors out there, you'll be happy to know that not only can you download games digitally, but
for all you collectors out there, it's never coming out. They did sell these physical games.
About that later this week.
They sold these. You can buy them. You can go on their website and order these still.
We don't allow any loot boxes, in-game purchases, in-app advertising, or paid downloadable content.
Just a mess. Go away. Get out of my face. You make me angry. Such a scam. Took so much money from people. No, I mean, when we saw footage of the beta unit that was being kind of demoed out there, I mean, it has an old Android settings menu. Like, you could hit a key command and bring up the Android settings menu, the Play Store and all that kind of stuff. It's literally just an Android. These are Android games. Any Android set-top box could play these. I just don't get it. It has a rotary. Like, you can't do that with an analog in any way, I guess, right? So, I don't know. Anyway, it's dead. It's beyond dead, but now we just get to see these funny stories come out once every so often. I can't wait to see the official dead story. Long live Intellivision Amico. Long live. Anyway, I think that's it for now. It's 58 minutes. We'll come back next week. We'll be back our regularly scheduled time of Tuesday. Probably runs on Honeycomb, which was what, Android 3, Android 4, something like that. And I know problem rolls. I appreciate everyone hopping on and chatting me up here. It's again, next week we'll have Pedro and he'll demoralize me live on stream for sure. Go watch Stranger Things. Go catch up, everyone, please. I would love to talk about it. Yeah, 3.0 for tablets. That's right. That's absolutely just a mess. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share. Be kind, everyone. Another episode in the can. Love you guys. Capitalism is killing us. Odd job is still cheating. All the usual stuff. Got to get it out there. Be kind, everyone.